Well, a state prosecutor has filed a lawsuit against the state of Illinois for the gun ban and the magazine ban and the registry. This coming out of McHenry County State's Attorney's Office, where Patrick Kenneally's office has filed that lawsuit. It's the first, from my understanding, of a actual elected official filing a lawsuit against the state of Illinois. Not necessarily the truth. You've got Blaine Lilhauer and Adam Niemer, who filed suit in the White County state level case. But this is the first of a county law enforcement officer, a state's attorney, who's filed suit against the state of Illinois over the gun ban. So here it is, McHenry County State's Attorney Patrick Kennealley. He filed this lawsuit yesterday in McHenry County, and it's now the, fourth state-level case that's been filed. So here he is with his news release yesterday on Facebook. Says the McHenry County State's Attorney sues over state's assault weapons and high-capacity magazine ban, both in quotations. Says the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office filed a complaint today in McHenry County Circuit Court challenging the constitutionality of House Bill 5471. That's the measure that they ultimately had to gut and replace several bills to get to, and this was the third iteration of it. The first bill from Bob Morgan stood alone. It was the Protected Illinois Communities Act, but then they went to an amusement park ride bill, stripped that, put new language in, modified it, and then they took a different bill, an insurance bill, and stripped that and put the gun ban and registry in there. So you can see kind of somehow the legal wranglings are going on there. And that's part of the argument against the measure in the state level courts from Tom DeVore. He's challenging that entire process of, violation of third readings are the allegations. And that's where you have to read a bill 3 times, or the bill has to be single subject, pertinent and germane to what the original filing of the bill was. So some of those arguments, we'll see how they stand up in courts. But you've got the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office here filing the complaint, saying that the complaint alleges that HB 5471 violates the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 22, and the Illinois Constitution, that's Section 22, Article 1, which also protects residents' right to bear arms. Kennealley said that the party of unchecked power knew the law was constitutionally problematic when they, like with the Safety Act, passed it in irregular legislative session without any meaningful debate and under cover of darkness. He went on to say that national and will again head to court to ensure to uphold our sworn obligation to protect and defend the United States and Illinois constitutions. So I was able to reach out to the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office, and I talked with Troy Owens, who is the assistant state's attorney, and he laid out some of the rationale as to why, indeed, the McHenry County State's Attorney's Office is challenging this, being the first, from my understanding, county elected official to challenge the gun ban in McHenry County. And here is Troy Owens chatting with me briefly yesterday about why they filed the case.
Well, we believe that the law is blatantly and facially unconstitutional, being compelled essentially to participate in the prosecution of an offense, or an offense that we believe is unconstitutional, puts us in an ethical quandary. Essentially having to enforce a law that we don't believe is...
Have an emergency hearing set for Monday morning, and we'll see what ultimately comes out of that. But they are requesting a temporary restraining order against the law, just as we've seen temporary rulings expected soon. But in McHenry County, they'll have an emergency hearing on Monday where they're going to request a temporary restraining order to be ruled upon. But here we are, a state's attorney filing a lawsuit against the state of Illinois over the gun ban and registry. Now, what's interesting is how this reflects back to the Safety Act, the provision. That was supposed to be implemented January 1st, consolidated all those cases in the state court, and then you had a state court, I believe in Kankakee, that the judge issued a temporary restraining order against implementation of the law, and they said it only affects the 63 counties that sued, 65 counties. Illinois has 102 counties. So you had all of these lawsuits consolidated, a judge saying there's a temporary restraining order while this case progresses. But then the Illinois Supreme Court said, no, we're not just carving out these few counties because that could cause chaos. They went ahead, that was right before New Year's. They just have some legal filings going back and forth. It could be March before they actually determine what to do with the no cash bail provision and whether or not that violates the state constitution. So you can see that same type of thing happening possibly with the challenge of the state's gun ban. If you have, a county like McHenry get a restraining order just for McHenry County from enforcing this, and then you have some other states attorneys from across the state, 102 different states attorneys, by the way. If you have other ones getting county level challenges and injunctions, then you have kind of a mishmash and a patchwork of sorts of all of the different counties that are actually restraining enforcement of the gun ban. You could see where it could get to a point of the Illinois Supreme Court having to say, all right, we've got a patchwork here. We're going to have to suspend the law in order for this to progress and not cause chaos. Will that happen? I don't know, but we'll be watching all of this very closely. But again, court where state police are trying to consolidate those, filing a lawsuit against the gun ban in McHenry County. If they get that temporary restraining order, it would be just for residents in McHenry County, where they would be safe from the state enforcing the gun ban. A lot of moving pieces here. And of course, we'll be updating you all throughout. Bishop on Air on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Check it out. Subscribe, share, and of course, wake up every morning here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Got to take a break. It is now 8:32.